We are remembering a legend in politics. Former 3rd District Congressman Ron Mazzoli died this morning, one day shy of his 90th birthday. His longtime chief of staff for 25 years, Charlie Mattingly, talked about him this afternoon.
He cared about the community. He listened to people. He always put an emphasis on casework, solving people's problems with the government. Always had an office that made that a primary function to solve casework problems.
And former Kentucky Lieutenant Governor and Louisville Mayor Jerry Abramson sent us this tonight, quote, "He cared for his community, state, and nation first and foremost before himself. Even when he disagreed with you, he was never disagreeable. Ron was the personification of what elected officials should be." And I'll add, he never stopped learning. As I caught up with him in 2004, just newly graduated from Harvard.
Well, I'd have to get my glasses on to do that.
The latest graduate from Harvard must first put on his glasses to read his grades in small print.
Winning elections, A.
At age 70, former Congressman Ron Mazzoli went back to Harvard, getting his master's degree in public administration. He and his beloved wife Helen were the oldest students there.
A lot of times the kids would come to get advice and talk about politics and talk about marriage. I mean, the things that we could bring to the house were different than the tutors and the scholars brought, because we brought living together now 45 years.
Mazzoli first ran for Congress in 1970. The staunch Democrat wasn't afraid to criticize Democratic President Jimmy Carter over his recession bill in 1979.
With all due regard and with all respect to my president, it's going to go over like a lead balloon. And as the Bible says, the last state of that man will be worse than the first.
Mazzoli loved the St. Patrick's Day parade. I was honored to be in it with him and former meteorologist Ken Schultz. A devout Catholic, he was born in Louisville and went to St. X, Notre Dame, and U of L. He served in the Kentucky Senate. During his 24 years in Congress, Mazzoli left the country with the Simpson-Mazzoli Act in 1986. To this day, still the most important immigration reform legislation to pass Congress. He saw the good in everyone. Rachel Platt, my son Boone, and I took him to lunch 1 year ago. He handicapped the mayor's race and held court at lunch, and never lost his sense of humor, like living in that dorm at Harvard.
There's nothing like 2 o'clock in the morning being awakened by rock music being played right above you. It's been a magnificent journey.
There he is on the House floor saying his final goodbyes. Mazzoli's community spirit never wavered. He was a longtime volunteer at St. Vincent de Paul during Thanksgiving and Christmas, serving meals to those who needed it the most. Rest in peace, Ron Mazzoli, tonight.